Data and money have always been connected. Centuries ago, merchants tracked grain, gold, and goods on clay tablets, and whoever controlled the data controlled the trade. Companies like Google, Facebook, Databricks, and Snowflake organize, collect, and move data, transforming it into billions in recurring revenue. Because in the history of wealth, the ones who own the data always own the money. Subscribe then, stick around to the end of the video.
What's up, everybody? My name is Hakeem Draper. I am the Chief Strategy Officer here at Alpha Data. I work alongside Brian. I've known Brian for about a decade now, and man, the guy is a doer. And it's the thing that we've been focused on is executing, refining, and building the full suite of tools that complements this ecosystem to allow people to go out and really get money with this platform and with what we're doing. With that, there's the appointment bidding, there's an entire team's management and task management ecosystem and toolkit. There is a fully connected back-end system that allows you to offer jobs and buy, hire professional services. There is directories that allow you to literally lease or buy the ability to create your own signal in a state or in the entire country. And then, of course, there is Avoca Data and everything that we're doing there. So I'll let Brian kind of take it away. And
so few things. I'm not going to go over too much of Avoca Data right now. We have lots of videos on that, but I'll let anyone ask questions. Avoca Data being the data distribution network where you're able to buy, sell, and trade any data that you want. And just so you guys have a visual, that's what this is. What I want to talk about today is the directory. And the directories are appointment machine because instead of trying to just be ranked with one web page in one city, one state, we go with a brute force effect. Because we have access to all this data and the formulas of how the big data works and is organized and cleaned and data lake, we're able to produce these very quickly. This is an example of a best roofer company. The way that we got all of these pages, we have best roofer near Brazil, Indiana, expert roofing company with 20 plus years. We can then go take a look at the next one, best roofer. So it changed from best roofing company to best roofer. You'll notice this near does change as well. Here we now have best roofer again. Now we have within Raleigh, North Carolina, and we don't have located in the near and all those. We're able to build this for any industry. Anything that you guys can think of, you can subscribe to. We do charge $50,000 a year. And what you get for that is you are the only person who has this real estate. So that means you can do the following. You can put your own links on here. So for instance, this link, I don't have it connected, but either book an appointment, which could be your calendar, and it's not our calendar. You're leasing the real estate from us. We rank really well and very fast with everything we do. I just put up the roofing one with doing minimal work. I'm only at a 2. I'm still getting 386 words in less than a month after putting up the first. Car accident was a new one that we just did recently. That's actually the next project I want to work on to expand some more of these words. All of these people are looking up certain phrases and now landing on websites that we own, that we then rent out the ability for you to put your information here. So this gentleman who's paying for the monthly for attorneys has his own calendar. The other option he has is you can just call his phone number and he's able to track how many calls come from each page, which area, and he only works in Florida. So if he gets a call in Arkansas, he has a lot of options because again, he bought the year. So what you're really buying for a year is a monopoly where no one else can buy these pages from us. For an entire year, you get to monetize all the data that's collected and obviously aggregated that can help whoever is in a certain industry, in a certain state, in a certain city to expand their revenue, make more deals, and ideally not have to do prospecting. Because I've been trying to figure out a solution for 5 years for prospecting. There's 5% of the population in sales that does it to a degree that's monetary and profitable. How do we get those 5% to work with the 95%? And the best solution I've come up with is just appointments. Set appointments. Hey, there's no argument or conversation about what is a lead, because when there's an appointment and these pages are landed on, we're recording everything the user does. So we can see if the user scrolled, we can actually see the screen that they saw on their screen. And we can see what they clicked, and basically we're collecting additional data that eventually can be used in the future to determine additional intent. The results on Google, so I originally showed you the SEO results on one of the softwares that we use. let's go over to the roofing one that we originally saw, and we'll see it's only been up for approximately about a month and a half now, actually. So right here is when we put all the pages out. So it's been 25 days. And in 25 days, 28 days, the website's been viewed 42,000 times, and 91 people actually visited the website. And the pages that we did are still indexing. So there's still 10,000 pages Google's waiting to index. And within about a month, this is what we're producing already. Now, this production is of the first version of the website. And what we have just published for us is the ability to pop these open extraordinarily fast. So this one solution we're working on, we can see all the different variables we're inserting. If you do decide to subscribe, we work with you one-on-one because we have put together a really big tool. I don't know how else to describe it, where we're able to identify words and phrases. We're able to, with you, build new words. So if you're doing something like electroshock treatment, I know I don't have anything in this database. I'll just say shock treatment or shock. So you then have the ability with us to import more words that we then can build and insert into your directory. You're building alongside us, and it is a revenue masterpiece. I mean, you're the only one with the real estate. And as time goes on, the real estate's going to get eaten up. What works today is not going to work in 5 years because it's always changing. So with this, every single website we can build. And we put together a very efficient data ETL tool that allows us to index and save every single website that's built. We can track everything that people do. And as time goes on and you own this directory or lease it for the period of time, you will also collect intent data. There's 5 different things that happen when someone lands on one of these pages. A, we know who they are because we have our own identity pixel we'll be releasing around the end of July. That's included in the $4.99 subscription at no extra cost. Now, the second best thing that can happen if you own this monopoly, someone calls. Or actually, no, the second best thing is someone submits a lead form. Lead forms still suck because 60% of agents do not enjoy calling leads. And that's one of the biggest hurdles. However, let's say this is the second least expensive monopoly you sell, where you can have someone in the state of Florida maybe pay you $10,000 a month. And everything generated from these pages, from this one piece, this one asset on this real estate that you now have control of, you can sell that off to somebody where you are not going to have the leads forwarded to you, would modify the forms within the pages of where you sell. So now that user paying you is able to go off and get the data in real time that you are now forwarding to them. The third best thing, I personally think the third best thing is the call now. Call now, obviously, live transfer. You just started a live transfer business. You now have people in Texas calling you for roofing, for car accident, and you have no footprint in Texas. You are now a live transfer company that can then sell exclusive transfers to the best people in tech to do the work. And because of the flexibility, you can sell them for cash, or you can start all these JVs. You can have 50 different companies in 50 states doing 50-50 work with you maybe. It doesn't matter to us. Point is, this is supposed to be an art that you create because there's 1,000,001 ways to do it. And we're not a roofer. We are a big data, ETL, cloud, and data lake company. We are nerds. We do a lot of sales. Still, the way that we're going to maximize the technology we built is by making sure the person who buys the monopoly for the year, we have to make sure they're actually going to use it, because it does us no good if we sell it to you for 50,000 and you do nothing with it. I'd rather sell it to someone for 30,000 who uses it, quite frankly. These are basically mini products or investable assets we're giving out because we've learned how to do all this being very lean. That's why we're very, the value that we add in terms of what we provide is massive. Now, the final thing that I would say is the best thing that could be sold off of this page is the appointment button. Now, when someone says to you, why is an appointment for car accidents $600? Well, you can get a lead form for $80. We're taxing you. If you don't want to do the work, the 5% of people who just want the appointment, they're bidding on it now. So as time goes on and you own the monopoly, you can then create a bidding system within this platform. And the users that want one appointment, but there's 4 people who want it, can place bids. And then you have the flexibility of controlling when the bidding stops, when it starts, the prices it starts at, the reservation on the price you want to put. And you can also put a buy it now, just like eBay. So if that guy who's okay paying the tax doesn't want to wait competing with 3 other agents just to save a few pennies, not a few pennies, could save a lot more, but still they can then have the flexibility of just buying it now and taking the auction offline because you've set up that permission.
So my main question on it, so we're looking at these for being leased for the whole country, and then whoever has that lease for that time can take the data for different areas. Let's say like the car guy in Florida, the car attorney in Florida. He's getting everything nationwide, and then he can do with that as he says, or are we able to break it into states?
So we can, as the top organization, we have the ability to break it into states. We have the ability to break it into countries. But let's say you buy the country from us. Now you have the ability to break it down by state, city, zip code. For that price, $50,000, you are then buying the ability to price anything at your own price. So you're not paying us any royalties, commission on anything you sell. It's your asset to maximize.
So there is a way to break it down into the states and stuff like that. So we could either do it individually where you guys have it broken down, or we could just do the whole country by lease that whole thing and then break it down ourselves, and you'll show us how to do that.
Exactly. Yep. Big company that wants to pay just $20,000 for the state, and you paid $50,000 for the country. There's a lot of business to do, so that's why the opportunity is that big for everyone here. Because we're technology people. We want to grow tech. We want to make sure that data can move fast and make sure data can constantly make money for people.
Oh yeah, don't forget, if you want to book some time, you can always schedule some time, get one-on-one, get some of the questions answered that you may not want to answer or ask here.
Hey, quick question. I was a little bit late getting in. So what you have here, this isn't intent data. This is just local. I don't want to say local, but it's just a site that helps get leads.
So yes, the intent data is generated from this. Say you land on this page and you don't book an appointment, you do not call now, you don't submit a lead. We still are able to identify who came to the website page.
Nice. Okay. And the pricing for this, what's the deal with that?
This product we call Monopoly because the person who buys the country is then able to decide how they want to sell all the channels. So let's say someone pays $50,000 for the country for 1 year. That user can then resell each state, each city, or each job, or each button to anyone. So maybe there's someone in Texas that wants to pay you $10,000 a month for all the Texas website pages. And for that $10,000 a month, he can, through you, put his calendar link here, put his phone number here, and then link up his CRM to here. Now, when anyone lands on any of these pages near me, they will have the flexibility. The whole point of the near me thing is people are looking for the service right now.
Right.
Georgia, for the roofing one, is actually doing the best, shockingly. Well, I'll take a look at what some of these things were. Let's go. Roof. These are really the words I'm looking for. Commercial roofing, Fort Dodge. So the last, a little easier. So we'll start at the top. So flat roof replacement in Valdosta, Georgia. Those are right now, found the most. So this one page, multiple pages actually, there's 3 companies that we have listed in Valdosta, Georgia. This was the very first pages we put up. They're ugly. They're not in any way, shape, or form pretty. This section, this is what we are putting up to replace those pages. It's just a game. If people are looking up shingle curling, shingle deterioration, website page ranks within multiple areas. See, roofing in Colorado Springs. Only 13 people looked it up in over 28 days. Roof services Griffin, not sure what city that's in. Atlanta, another Georgia one. And the reason why we're doing it by the country is we can't predict what states are going to get appointments first. So that is a truthful, honest thing of why we're liking to sell it by country, because if you have a footprint in 25 states, have use for 25 states, and I'm sure if you have footprint in 25 states, you can find 25 other people in 25 other states to take the other work, because these appointments aren't costing anything. It's generated once. You're paying once for the year. It's generated. You can hand it off to someone to split the work. You can sell it to them. It's totally up to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
While everyone is trying to figure out how to make money on AI, you have Microsoft buying nuclear reactors, $15 billion to make the AI work. There is no way, in my opinion, any small business reselling AI is sustainable. It all comes down to legitimately the power that it costs to compute an answer. One NVIDIA chip, I forgot the model, one chip worth $100,000 consumes the same amount of electricity as one residential household in Florida running their AC all day long. And one server stack has, some of them have 10,000 or more chips in it. So those are the real problems AI needs to solve before the masses are actually able to profit from it. Because if you're in an AI business and you're profiting today, but those businesses that make the AI work do not figure out a way to save money, they will start charging more. And all the models that work today are not going to work in 3 or 4 years unless you're actively adding this real problem into your long-term business solution. And AI at the core is data, making data talk with each other faster and finding better ways that are cheaper, require less power to actually connect the dots to get an answer. Again, while everyone's worrying about selling AI, that's why we are fully betting on this market. And again, it's not just the data that's being generated, it's also the speed, where a roofer in most instances cannot use intent data. And it's difficult. That's why I say the 5% that can do it. That is a time thing. He's not using intent data because it's going to take a lot of time for him to become a master at it. This whole time to sale, that's where the appointment comes in, because that time was now saved for that user. And then that's where you're able to figure out a real value. Like when you sell AI, you're guessing at what it's going to do for somebody. But after you sell an appointment, you literally convert it offline to online, which is now dollars in the roofer's pocket. And as time goes on, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get those metrics versus selling AI bots, which you really can't get much metrics on. Data environment, much more better suited over the next few years. We also have our car accident one. Car accident gets a much higher click-through rate, which is interesting. Gets much lower impressions, but they get phone calls still. Aaron's comments.
Sorry, I joined late. Is this intent data?
So yeah, this is about a lot of stuff, but what do you sell specifically?
I have a software. It's a dialer all-in-one like omni-channel communication platform. We do mostly specialize in like advanced AI calling. It's pretty robust solution. And we have like direct relationships with AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. So we try to get businesses that are running ads and just caller leads, speed to lead solutions really is the name of the game for like the most successful people. With us, we have like doctors, dentists, chiropractors, solar, roofing, HVAC type companies.
I like the way you do it. So all that spiel I said about AI, in your use case, you're saving time for people because you're actually working with people who are generating leads, correct? And you're just putting in the technology to help them monetize the leads they're paying for faster, if I'm understanding.
Yeah. And if people aren't running ads, then we'll try to run ads for them. If they don't have budget, we'll get them data. I usually will use I have a few like data partners, and sometimes it's B2B, sometimes B2C. We try to stick to B2B just to on the compliance side, but we'll nurture them with emails and text, and then call the ones that we get like either a half hand up or all the way hand up, just to get them some quick results, make them some quick cash, and then from there they'll invest into marketing, and we'll run ads for them, Google, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, and then use the AI to nurture them, get them booked on their calendars, and keep them hot.
Now that's the way to do it.
Brian, this is what I told you. This is literally the conversation we had. So yes, awesome. Go ahead. Sorry. Welcome to the party. I love this guy.
So you are the type of person I would promote because you actually come in with a full
You know what? Hold on. I want to set a new precedent. This is really a great forward-thinking use case business model for how you build for the future. I would like to give this guy 10,000 bonus credits just for him and sharing it with everybody here. I think every week we should do this when we hear a really innovative or forward-thinking use case for how you leverage data in the modern era, in the modern business environment. I think this guy's the weekly winner today. I want to make that happen, Brian.
Yeah, no, and speaking of, so I'm going to go tie quite a few things together real quick. Did I just turn my screen off? Yes, I did.
I think I opted into like your guys' website one time when I was searching for vendors. That was like 2.5 years ago. I've kind of like set myself on a few, of like, I don't know, what's the one that's pretty popular right now? It's called it starts with a C.
Constant Contact, Clay.
No. It's Clay. That's
Clay.
what that's what everybody's talking about right now. How is your data compared to Clay?
So this is the best part. This whole business model of mine started 5 years ago because I recognized we were making more money from people bringing us their Zoom info data, bringing us all the companies you knew of 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And we basically were like, wow, all these companies use the same data provider. If that data provider is inaccurate, that means all of them are going to be accurate. And if you go to enrich off of any of the competitors, they all use basically the same data provider. So we found we were really good at enrichment because we were outside of the feedback loop. So this whole system is a giant marketplace. We got started with these business databases where these consumers are people, businesses are actually business owners, and these business owners are not LinkedIn. These people took an SBA loan. I mean,
we're your favorite data stores, data enrichment place. So it doesn't matter where you're getting the data. It's been through our system probably at some.
Got you.
And just to summarize the question with Clay, this system lets you build your own Clay. That's what this whole thing's a white label. You can connect with our data providers and literally build your own Clay ecosystem and be cheaper than Clay. And Palo's, all these companies are worth billions of dollars, which means they have a lot of shareholders who need their money back. So we'll always be cheaper as like a grassroots community. The reason why I got so excited about James is he solves that problem for, let's say, about 30% of the people out there. They're doing their own ads, great. They're generating their own leads, great. You're past the prospect. Now he is working on instantly generating an appointment from that, because there is still obviously a good chunk of the community that isn't good at converting their leads to sales and appointments, even if they're opted in through Google or Facebook. So with James and anyone that is on Advocate Data, you can create your own team. So what I actually was going to do with my team, once I found what James's account was, I was going to invite him to my team because I need someone like James to help my clients. I easily have about 1,000 people on a wait list that I don't sell services to because I don't do what they need exactly, which might be that lead generation, that in-between step to take it from a paid lead into a appointment. And maybe someone is just using data and needs someone an email to do their prospecting. Email is the best example because our emails are great. We send out 99% deliverability on our go high level. We send about 30,000 new emails a day, and I can show that if you want. But that's not the science of it. The science of it is staying out of spam and whitelisting your domain and keeping track of all the new alerts Google puts out that they want you to have on your DNS. You know, there's a lot to it. This isn't just copyright and pressing a button, sending an email. Like, we need people who send emails that get results. And the only way results are generated is by solving those first two issues of spam and also the non-deliverability. So this is what we'll be migrating. This is going to be a free program for the most part. Obviously, there'll be some things that are paid features, but we have 7,000 users now. We've had a total of probably 900 paid customers. Those 900 paying customers, on and off, a lot of them come back, a lot of them leave, but a lot of them do come back because they got what they need. They are the ones we need to connect with those other 6,100 people, because we will get those individuals, those 6,100 people paying us only if those 900 people who know what they're doing are able to service them correctly. Where do we win with all this? Well, if you are already paying us or you have paid us and now you're servicing clients on the same system, if you're doing transactions, we get a fee. So that's how this whole thing works together. That's where we want to sit in the middle. And that is how we ideally see solving all these problems. And two other things I'll tack on. This whole system that's included at no extra cost is theoretically its own Asana. So you can create different projects. And if someone is on your team, you can assign it. And all of these columns, like we were talking about data before and the speed and the optimization, all of these columns you can customize and create your own. So if you remember the Advocate Data building your own table, it was more complicated. This is a lot more simple. You can't upload data into these tables, but if you wanted to create a nice way of organizing everything for each client or maybe each proposal, you can do that. And within every single one of these tasks, you can comment, you can tag people, you can add attachments. So maybe you're attaching invoices to clients. If maybe you're managing who pays every month and maybe you have a project of all your paid users, you can create subtasks for any task. And just like we said before, you can create all of your custom fields. The second big thing here is the channels. Basically have its own Slack built in, and this works with your team. So if you can organize, if you want to add documents for the whole channel, maybe you make the channel a consumer, maybe you make the channel a proposal network, or maybe jobs that you receive and maybe paying clients. So now you have a neat, clean way of organizing all the clients that pay you, because we're serious. We have gotten to this point by being very transparent about what's needed, what we do, what we don't do, and what our plans to actually solve some of these problems in the future are.
Add on to that, if you've been following along, you know Brian is very effective with the ads and the SEO and all of that. So like, this is a really good, for someone who's looking to build a community, this is a great opportunity to get a jump start on that.
We went over a lot. The core product that is running that we sell is the intent. So for $4.99 a month, you get to get unlimited data for any topic that you get. One topic a month. You get to change the topic every month. And as you go month to month, you will never lose the data from the previous month. What's cool about that is if you flip this white label tab, you have just created your own Clay, your own Zoom Info, your own Apollo, whatever you want to name it. They're all the same. That was always the point. All of them are the frick. And you can now, if you ever use Go High Level, just like Go High Level, connect your domain, connect your merchant, and connect your email. So all of the leads that get sent to your customers will actually come from you, not from us. No one will know that it is us that's actually doing this for you. Within this section, you can organize all the databases you've ever purchased. You can create plans for people to pay you. If you stay subscribed month to month, you never lose access, and you can consistently create your own plans. You can name it the best data. We'll call it buy 2 months, get 1 free. Same as 1 database per month. And we give you 1,000 contacts a minute. What that means is you can only download on every save 1,000 records, but you can save an infinite amount of time. That 1,000 limit extends to your users in your white label. So if you choose to make it 1,000,000 credits a day, you have to make sure that your user does not download more than 1,000 credits at once. And additionally, you need to make sure no 2 users or 3 users or 4 users download more than 1,000 credits in a 60-second time span, rolling average. You can control if you want them to pay you monthly or yearly for the data, and all of these databases are included. If you pay us for the enrichment, you can resell data enrichment and skip tracing to all the databases, and then any of the databases you're subscribed to, you can select specifically for that user to be able to access when they pay you. So I'll just call it EDM music. Go off, hit save. If you had your merchant account connected, you would instantly be able to get paid. So we go over to pricing, and we'll see that this plan for 3 months is here. Now, if you don't have a merchant account, but you're paying the $8.99, that's not a problem. The user signs up, you can automatically assign a plan to them. Right over here, you'll see all the people who made an account. You can see if they're subscribed, what they pay, if they have a plan. You can customize what databases that they have access to, but you can then assign the data, the package to them directly. I have a free plan, for instance, and maybe someone paid you with Zelle and not through the system. You can just go off and select the plan and then subscribe them. And now you don't have to take payment through the system. You can do it outside of the system if you choose to.
Yeah, since I got a little time and you still on here. So I got like 100 questions in my head just popped in. But to set up the basic website.
Set up the website, you just go to white label. You just enter in your DNS and IP address and your wherever you're hosted, GoDaddy. So
that part, yes.
There are 2 ways to customize it: the fancy way and the boring way. So you'll see This just says this is the content, right? Consumer lead, business leads, homeowner lists. All I did to make this pretty was copy, paste it into ChatGPT to make it prettier. Second thing is custom website pages. All of this is done with ChatGPT, right? Or Claude. I don't write any of this. I'll just copy and paste it. So after ChatGPT and Claude do its thing, this is what I'm left with, which is a few prompts. So you would have the flexibility to actually work with all of that yourself, customize it how you need. This was a different customization this guy was playing with. He basically just used Claude, ChatGPT once again. He didn't add in any of the material for the H1 or H2. He just pasted it all here. Just pasted everything.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Because you don't have to use these. You can overwrite them.
Got you. So it was one page talking about video.
Yeah, on there's a links for homepage and pricing video link.
Yeah.
The video that you post there, the link, that's what is going to show here. And I found showing videos, it makes the sales calls much shorter and you get more close because they've taken a few days, maybe 30 days, 60 days to understand and do the videos. And, they've already made up their mind before they book the appointment, basically. Videos are the utmost important thing. Right. There's 42 seconds. There you see Akeem, same area as just earlier in the right-hand corner. This gentleman is own. So he makes his own videos. I post the videos for him. This is his white label gutter leads. He chose his colors to be blue. His own YouTube channel, like he's oh yeah, I have a promotion for myself. He gets views. This is all organic. 445 views in 4 months. So people are looking up gutter leads. They're finding his videos. This is just free sales.
How many sales?
All of it is free sales.
So that YouTube channel is strictly for that particular industry, which is gutter leads. And then, so whatever that video is, I got it. I understand now.
And you can make a video on how to search by age. You can make a video on how to search by email. All of these things on this screen are separate videos you can make something for. You will get questions on everything.
Right.
And reality, it's just, hey, if I had a video to show you how to use the search field, now you just saved yourself a 15, 20-minute Zoom call.
So with the actual intent data, do I have to purchase one to go through the system?
You can set the whole thing up at no cost, but if you want to start selling stuff, you need data to sell. Yeah. So the way you get data to sell, $4.99. In addition to the business leads, consumer leads, and homeowners, that's all included. So you still need to be on the $4.99 to sell that. But you also get to pick one of these categories.
So let me make sure I understand. I'm sorry. So in addition to what you just said, you pick another category. Is that correct?
Exactly. So you then pick your own unique category. There's 22,000 of them.
And you said that was homeowner leads?
Homeowner and business owners and consumers.
Got you.
These homeowners, it's not all 50 states. It's not all counties. So are of county taxes. So we know this person owns the home because the county in this, wherever the city is, this is the owner that pays taxes. And then we will go off and find the cell phone numbers, the email. Gotcha. On the $8.99, you get unlimited data enrichment. So if you were to come in and maybe you scrape the Secretary of State of Illinois, because you can actually download 10,000 businesses at a time. What's the most common name? It's like John.
Yeah, John, right.
Okay. So if you wanted to go off and you can go on Fiverr, I mean, this isn't hard to scrape. Find someone for $15. They can scrape this whole database for you. And then on the $4.99 plan, you can actually upload it to Advocate Data, your own databases. If you were to do that, you can enrich that new data to the records we have. You can select, oh, I want to enrich it to this maybe. I'm just going to pick anything random. And then you can pick the columns to match to. So maybe you want to match company name. If you were to do that, maybe you uploaded the spreadsheet you did. Now you can compare that spreadsheet to all the records in the whole system to try to find their LinkedIns and emails and all that stuff in between with just this information here.
Got it.
And that's what I was mentioning about it being similar to Clay, where you can make your own environment. Data is like dating. There's no one or there's no one size fits all. It's always going to be something different that people ask for. I've realized over 5 years. So either you have to have a way of showing them how they can do it right in front of them. For instance, looking for government contractors that are chief technology officers. Someone asked that last week. Through us talking through it, we were able to figure out, okay, well, there's a company industry called government. And we also realized the company name. The company name isn't really a company, but if we type in city of, we now find people that work for the city of blank. So we can go look up company name again. I'm pretty sure right after I showed them this, they paid us.
Right, exactly.
It's like if you're able, and that's why these videos are important, because it's really your expertise you're selling. It's not the data. The data maybe 1% of people understand. Really how you're selling your expertise and you're training people. You're making them more knowledgeable, and that knowledge they'll have forever, not just with using your database as well. Or was that Rod?
Oh, that's
I was
me,
saying
actually.
thank you.
Okay, no problem, Rod.
Hi, Brian. This is Romy, big fan here, man. I've been talking to Kush for the last couple of weeks. He's been showing me really good stuff on the system. I'm kind of excited, I'm hopefully that this will work. I have a couple clients that we can land and make a huge turnkey. So right now I'm on the testing phase. I'm putting some credits on the platform and trying to pull lists out of it. We just did a recent one last week for personal injury. It was quite hard to navigate through it because I couldn't see anything that tells me like precisely, oh, this is how old these leads are. The only available option I have on your screen right now, it doesn't show to me like May 25. It only show personal injury 27A, and that's all that I have. My screen doesn't look like yours. So I went ahead and talking to Kush, he was like, oh no, this 27A is the name convention. You can trust that this is the most recent leads for June. So go ahead and do your filtering. So I narrow everything down to one city, San Diego, personal injury, car accident. I did the skip trace, mobile number, generate the list, 160 contacts, pay for it, send to the customer. Customer instantly start to reach out. He is running a call center. Out of the 160 people, only 5 took the phone call, and those 5 people were never involved in a car accident. So I'm wondering, what am I doing wrong, or what can I do to make this thing work? Because I want to invest really high on it. My client has an open wallet for it. And I just want to make sure that, if I'm going to go ahead and pull another list, that this time is going to be more, I can be more confident that these people were, first, they are B2C, right? Like this is actual people who got involved in car accidents or personal injury. And they were actively searching online for, lawyers or chiropractors or whatever. Can you help me with that and guide me through it real quick?
Yes. So
Thank you.
the core definition of intent data, and I'll break it down in terms of what I'm looking
Oh,
for.
by the way, just to save your time, I also work with, kind of familiar with SHA 256 and more or less how those things works. Just that there's particularities between different platforms. In Slab, I can literally say I want to see only the last 7 days or the only last 14 days. That's something I was not able to identify on Avocado yet. So
We'll start with the intent definition first, right? So intent just means this number was on a website that offers personal injury services or car accident services for lawyers. In no way, shape, or form means these people were in a car accident. We know, so everything that you see here, this is from like the first week in June. It goes A, B, C, D. And we stopped doing the names like this actually because it was getting too confusing. So all the new ones actually say, June 2.0, June, so on and so forth. Whenever you see something, for instance, June number 2, that would be the second week of June, which would be 7 days prior, which was the searches. The searches aren't searches. It's people who are landing on websites that offer the service in this database. This database, for instance, was June 15th, the second week of June. These are of people who were on websites that offer business lending, merchant cash advance, everything like that. Now, was it a marketing agency doing SEO comparisons, trying to compete with keywords that are landed on this? It's definitely possible. Now, was it a person who is another lawyer looking up their competition? Was it somebody that was on a website for debt settlement and they, for some reason, clicked the link on the same website that goes to the personal injury. Were these people in a car accident? We do not know that. But what we do know is they were on these websites in the 7 days prior to us uploading the.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, you can go by deduction and say, if people are, and I know it's a game number, right? So it's not going to be like 1-to-1, of course. Statistically, if I'm generating a list with hundreds of contacts, I want to trust that at least half of it, 30% of it, it's actually people who somewhat have interest on that subject or that intent. For some reason, my dashboard does not show like yours. I cannot see the June or whatever. I only see the 27A.
Because you have to be subscribed on one of the plans where we build you the custom database just for you. So you're paying for databases that were made previously with the bonus credits, I think. So, but when you type in the bonus credits, you're able to select from what was already there. But when you are subscribing to, personally, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. There's a lot of questions that I have. Which phone number were they using? Were they using the Skip Trace Wireless? That'd be the first thing I would ask. Because the Skip Trace Wireless, about 30% of the numbers have this, and these are more we're more confident that these.
Yeah. So when I run the list, I go on the filters and I say personal phone, personal email, and then I turn on the skip trace. So the first list comes up with 600 contacts, and then when I activate those filters, it narrows down to 160, which is it's great, right? Like I want to make sure that my clients are actually taking validated phone numbers and whatnot. I don't know how to explain that, because I'm willing to pay the 500 or even the 5,000. I don't care, right? Like if this thing takes off, money is not going to be a restraint. I can tell you that right now. I have 3 people that they are eager to pay a lot of money as long as I can make this thing work. So right now I'm going on this workflow that, yes, I've been introduced to Avocado Data. There is this option that I can pay for the credits just so I can go ahead and create a couple lists, send to my people, and have them testing. I think that's the whole purpose of you using the credits and whatnot. But what good that's going to do if I'm running, those lists, but I don't have access to the most recent leads? And what happened when my client calls me back and say, I reach out to 160 people, all these people, right? Everything goes to the mailbox, and the only 5 people that I talked to, they were never involved in a car accident. So what should I do next?
The biggest thing it comes down to is how you're selling their expectations. If you're going in and selling them that this is gold and it's going to be their one-stop shop solution, it's not.
Yeah, it's from data, right? So I actually instruct them. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my technology that I have access to scrape the internet and find who is the people in the last 7 days or 14 days or this month that were actively searching for this related subjects or intents, right? And here's the list. Now, what I recommend you guys doing, it's, run an email campaign, run an SMS campaign, do cold calling, but also do, Facebook marketing, custom audience, and Google and whatnot, right? So I actually open.
Core issue though, like the core issue is you have to properly define what these people are. Like if you hand off 160 leads to someone who doesn't know anything else other than what you tell them, that's when they get upset. I mean, so it's not just the emailing aspect. It's if you can't afford Google Ads for the most part, the intent data is almost like a broke man solution, right? It's basically meant if you can't pay $80, $100, $200 a lead, outside the box way to do such a thing. Especially with clients that are lawyers and people who are, I call them prima donnas, that only have had appointments and referrals handed to them their whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I let them know that if they expect it to be easy, they should not pay me. I make that extraordinarily clear. And that what actually happens is people stay subscribed longer because we're being totally truthful with them. And that is the biggest thing that I stress when you're selling data is the expectations. Because if that's not framing their mind state of what they're actually getting themselves into is of the utmost importance, because
it does make sense. But just for context, this guy that I'm working with, he's an actual marketing agency. He already did in the past call centers, right? And he just happened that he focused on lawyers and chiropractors, right? So he's the guy between me and the final customer. He's the one who's actually going to take the list that I'm sending and turn that list into appointments. And I believe they have a lot of experience with that.
So one thing that helps a lot too, in this type of situation, come up with a bunch of questions. Ask them what they're doing. Don't tell them what to do. Ask them. Let them tell you how they're using it, because the more they talk, the more info you get, and you're also learning. Like, they're going to tell you, oh, maybe I did do, when you start probing for them with these questions, they start telling you what did work. They at first only tell you what doesn't work. That's normally what happens. But when you start interviewing them on how it was used, that's when you can start being more creative with them. And that's kind of what I found a lot of clients appreciate, is working with them in how to use the data and understand it, and actually having these dialogues with them, because it's valuable. I mean, the dialogues I've had with people over 5 years is what's gotten us to the point of what we're doing.
Do personal city for the city of my client, skip trace wireless number, hit search. How do I know that what's going to render on my screen, or what's the age of these people, even like how can I confidently, or is there any other better way for me to take something fresher, something more accurate, where, you know, at least 30% of the people they're going to call is going to say, well, actually, I was involved in a car accident. I can use your help.
I mean, that's never going to happen, man. Like, that's a dream come true. I mean, unless you're paying for paid ads, like, the only people who are actually like, hey, I got in a car accident, is the guy submitting a lead form that second that I got in a car accident. I mean,
but this people is not included on your list then.
Which specifically?
No, the people you just say, right? The lead, the actual person who got included. Because I thought that the whole point of identity resolution and the SHA is that you guys are tracking what the behavior of these people online, right? So which websites they're landing, you know, if they're converting on forums, what kind of feedback you're getting from Google Analytics and whatnot. And I thought that, let's say, if I'm generating a list here with 100 people, some of these people will be that kind of lead. Is that correct? Or
some will, but now you have to think about people like me that have thousands of scrapers going to thousands of websites a minute. That's all registering as a SHA-256, all different. So now it's also picking up the people who are bot scraping. So that's what I mean. This is the rawest of raw material. Like, a gentleman came in, like, I like what the guy you're talking to does. Like, that is what someone before service does, where they're a little different. Someone generates a lead, and then they'll basically dial that lead to generate an appointment for them. Their client is providing good value for their clients because they're not leaving out hung to dry.
Oh, awesome, man. I appreciate you.
No, definitely. But yeah, don't subscribe to the $4.99 yet. Let's talk, because the core issue with the customers is
I would love to. Yeah, I've been talking to Kirsch, like I say, on the last couple weeks. It's been 2 weeks that we're going at least once a week. We're going on a session. But if you want to connect, if you have the time and if you can connect, I will absolutely love that. And maybe you can show me some other tricks inside. Because again, I'm sitting on a big opportunity now to make a lot of money. And one of the things that Kush shared with me, it's also the directory that you guys sell, which I thought was interesting, was very, very interesting. I'm willing, I want to put money in there, but I need to bank first, right? So I need to set a contract first and have my customer fall in love for this. You know, I want that reaction like, oh my God, this list is amazing. You send us 1,000 people, we were able to book 10%, you know, like 100 people, whatever. That's the feedback, you know, that I'm looking for. And if that happens, then we have an open wallet, sky's the limit. So that's what I'm looking for. And, you know, between the other platforms that I use, I really like Data to Leads. I like Avocado. I think it's a very kind of simplified process, if I'm sure of it. and for that, I will probably need your help if possible. But thank you again.
No, and I just want to comment on one thing: intent data and directories. Intent data is formed by directories, because if I'm looking up best roofing company and I land in Georgia and I'm on this website and I don't submit a form, I don't call, and I don't book an appointment, they're now intent data. So that's exactly how intent data is formed, is people landing in directories of all, I mean, think of all the top 10. If you type in top 10 anything, it's a directory. That is how all this intent data is created. So just knowing that, I mean, schedule an appointment. I'll see your name and I'll definitely come to that one. So don't worry about that, Kush. I'll be there, because this is the stuff I enjoy, which is really communication with it. And that's for 5 years. That's been I actually really appreciate you said that our process is the simplest, because that's really what we've been trying to do 5 years, is how do we
awesome. I'm excited. I just need to fine tune this, and I'm sure that we're going to get a lot done. That's awesome. I really appreciate you.
Definitely. No, thank you for the questions. Those were good. So I'm going to wrap this
Fantastic.
up, guys.
Can I wind us down here?
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to say this is why we do these AMAs, is so we can engage and stay connected with the people who need this platform, these platforms that we build, and these solutions. And I think that, you know, where one person has a question, there's 1,000 more that have a similar question. A lot of the stuff that Brian is able to share, we're also able to aggregate as content. You know, for anybody who's building up a business of any kind, I would, you know, if you have a outward facing, you know, side to your business, I would definitely adopt the content strategy similar to this, where you just spend time with the people who need your platform. Don't even make it just about the people who use your stuff. Make it available for anyone. And one of the things I love about working with Brian is that we'll have these conversations that go down these rabbit holes with literally anyone. You don't have to be paying us or in a, you know, on some high level account in order to have our attention or get some more help or, you know, whatever. And so, you know, this is what we're here for, is how do we help to solve these problems? How do we help to provide you with the tools that enable you to access the data that you need in order to go out and build your business? So I appreciate everybody asking questions and sticking around and attending and all of that. And every Wednesdays, noon Eastern, we will do this. So we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.